So in today's video, we're taking another look at the Harder & Steenbeck Infinity CR Plus. I'm excited for this review because this time we're looking at the CR Plus with the new needle design called the version 2. According to a post by Harder & Steenbeck, they said that this new needle offers greater detail, more control through the trigger stroke, and they're less prone to paint drying at the needle tip. You could differentiate the new needle with the old one because the new needle, which is on the right side of the screen, has some notches on it. And with Harder & Steenbeck, you're able to switch out the needle and nozzle size from 0.15 to 0.2, 0.4, or 0.6. And I love that each needle has different notches on the back so you're able to tell which is which. The Infinity CR Plus comes with the cap. You could place this on when you're not painting with it to protect the needle. The version I'm reviewing today is equipped with a 0.15mm needle and nozzle. If you're unfamiliar with airbrushes, this 0.15 is the smallest needle and nozzle size available today. The Iwata Micron, which is my favorite detail airbrush, has a needle size only slightly larger at 0.18mm. So in theory, this airbrush should be able to spray the thinnest line, but we'll talk about that when we get to the painting tests. While painting, you could place on the small 2-prong cap that comes with the airbrush, and this is just held on by friction. It's very easy to place on or remove, and it's great to protect your needle when you're getting in close for detail work. With the Infinity, you're able to swap out the paint cup, which is a really nice touch. When I bought this one, it came with both a 2ml and a 5ml paint cup, but a few years after buying this one, I picked up this small micro cup, which is one of my favorites. This gives a ton of room for your finger. You're not bumping into a cup, and it makes it almost feel like a side feed. The cup doesn't even feel like it's there. With this micro cup, you're only able to place in a few drops of paint, but that's okay because this airbrush was designed for detail, and when you're doing detail work, you don't need that much paint. The rear handle has a cutaway, and this could be useful if you want to quickly flush out any clogs within the nozzle. And like many other higher end airbrushes, the rear handle has a needle limiter on it. If you screw this down, it's going to prevent you from pulling the trigger too far back. I think this is mainly useful for beginners. It's something that I don't use, but it's definitely a welcomed addition. And with this small knob on the back, you can quickly adjust your settings to fully open or to the setting that you chose. So if you like using a needle limiter or a trigger stop, you're going to love this feature just because it makes it so quick and easy. Now, the best thing about Harder & Steenbeck airbrushes are their build quality. The second that you hold this airbrush in your hand, you know that you're using a professional painting tool. Out of any airbrush I own, and I own a lot, this is definitely the nicest looking one. When it comes to the build, the best two brands in my opinion are Iwata and Harder & Steenbeck. But I honestly think that Harder & Steenbeck is just one notch above Iwata in the build quality. The Infinity CR Plus with the 0.15mm needle and nozzle is designed as a detail airbrush. This means that you're going to have to use a high quality airbrush paint where the pigments are milled to a very small size. If you're using a paint that's not designed for detail airbrushes, you're going to have a very difficult time spraying them through a 0.15mm nozzle. The other airbrushes you're looking at on the screen right now are my other favorite detail airbrushes. That includes the GSI Krios PS771, the Badger Sotar 2020, and the Iwata Custom Micron. If you watched my older Infinity CR Plus airbrush review, the one with the terrible audio, you'll know that one of my problems with it was that the trigger control is not so great. With an airbrush like the Micron, when you press down and pull back for paint, the paint always releases at a certain point. With the Infinity, I noticed that this point was very inconsistent. You pull back a small amount, sometimes you get paint. If you want to get that same amount of paint next time, you might have to pull back farther or closer, and it just felt very inconsistent. But once the airbrush starts spraying, it sprays perfectly. It sprays just like an Iwata Micron, maybe even a little tighter. So my hope is that this new needle design, which is the version 2, helps fix that problem. We'll get into that when we start the painting test, but for now, let's quickly break down this airbrush so you can see all the internal parts. After removing the rear handle and the needle, you use a small tool that comes with the airbrush to remove the spring assembly. This part is extremely well engineered and it's very solid. On the back of this assembly, you have this small screw that has a very tight, narrow thread to it, and this is used to adjust the spring tension. I always recommend keeping these screwed down pretty tight because that's going to help give more tension to create a better seal with the needle and the nozzle, so when you press down for air, you're not going to get those small little bits of paint leaking out. The trigger design is also very unique. The bottom has a small ball on it, which presses down onto the air piston, and the trigger lever is connected to this part, which makes it really nice, easy to disassemble and place back in. To remove the nozzle head assembly, I always recommend picking up these inexpensive soft draw pliers. This way you're never going to scratch your airbrush. Remember that every part on an airbrush should always be hand tight, but sometimes some parts get stuck. So with some soft draw pliers, I can just get a better grip to release that first bit of friction. Once we have that air cap removed, we have access to the nozzle, and this is always my favorite nozzle design. A large floating nozzle design like this makes it so easy to break this down, and if you need to clean it, it's really easy to just get your airbrush needle in there to poke out any clogs you might have. Harder and Steenbeck also makes a small tool that you could use to clean it, so if you want it, check that out. The air cap is pretty basic, no sort of regulation holes or something like you'd see on a Badger airbrush, but it seems to work just fine. And that's as far as you'll ever really need to go to break down your airbrush. But inside the body of the airbrush is a small screw which holds a PTFE seal in there, and that helps prevent any paint from leaking back into the body of the airbrush. And of course on the bottom you have the air valve assembly. The individual internal parts in the Infinity CR Plus are really pristine. I've never had any of these parts break or fail on me in the 10 years I've owned Infinities, but if you need any replacement parts, they're easily accessible online. The Infinity CR Plus has a very tight spray pattern. In Photoshop here, I get a measurement of around 13.5 degrees. A spray angle like this is extremely tight. This is going to make it perfect for detail work. Of course, these measurements aren't perfect. They're really just estimations, but from what I measured, this is the tightest spray angle I've seen out of any airbrush. Spraying through the anemometer at 3.5 inches away at 20 psi, I get an airspeed right around 5.3 meters per second. So compared to the Micron, you're going to feel that this is spraying a bit more air at a similar psi, and when you get in close for that micro detail work, you're just going to feel some more of that air blowing back. When I'm using a detail airbrush, for me personally, I want this number as low as possible. There's nothing in any way bad about a higher airspeed like this, but when I'm painting, I just feel like the Micron's a bit more comfortable. I don't feel that air really blowing back off the surface. From here, I want to move along to a painting test, and right now you're looking at the Iwata Custom Micron Takumi. What we're doing here is checking the response rate. If you take a look at my finger, you'll see that as I pull back a tiny bit, I always get a very small amount of paint. This is what I would consider to be an excellent response rate. You could barely even see my finger pulling back to get paint. Now, no airbrush is going to be perfect 100% of the time, but for me, this is as good as it gets. Now let's move along to the Infinity CR Plus with the new 2.0 needle. And just remember, this is a response test. It doesn't matter what the paint looks like. I'm just seeing how far I have to pull back to get some paint. So some of this might be messy. That's not what we're checking here. I want you to pay attention to the trigger, and you'll see that I have to pull back pretty far to start to get paint. And to me, this doesn't really feel any different than the old needle design. I know in that post, Harder and Steenbeck said that they're using a better steel with their new CNC machine, so I'm sure it's a better steel and it'll last longer, but the response rate really feels exactly the same. So what I did here was clean out the airbrush, restrain the paint, and try it again. This test was very similar to the first one, but this time it didn't feel like I had to pull back as far as I did on the other one. Now I know on a YouTube video this is almost impossible to see, but the point that I'm trying to show is that it's just really not that consistent. It seems to want to start spraying paint at a different point every time. It atomizes and sprays the paint absolutely beautifully. You can get tiny dots, very, very thin lines. It's just not as consistent and precise as what you'd see in a Sotar 2020 or an Iwata Custom Micron. I really thin this paint down, and right here I'm spraying at a little higher PSI, around 25, 26, so you may notice some of that paint kind of smearing as the air hits it. That's normal. You'd get that from any airbrush at this airspeed. And when you spray at a higher airspeed like this, it's definitely a little bit more consistent. And I thought that this fixed the problem because as I pulled back to a certain point, I got paint, but then this last little line here, you could see it didn't come out, so I had to pull back farther, and the airbrush spit the paint. But now if I just start spraying a consistent line, you can see that this airbrush sprays and atomizes it perfectly. It never stops. It works absolutely flawless. So for me, the problem's not with the way that this atomizes and sprays paint. You can see it's perfect here. The only issue for me is starting spraying the paint. It just seems to want to start at a different point every time. And starting and stopping the paint is really important for me as a painter. I know when I'm painting, I must start and stop the airbrush thousands of times for sitting. So this is the next painting lesson that's going to be up on this channel. We'll start working on this one next week. And for the majority of this, I was using my Iwata Custom Micron Takumi, but I decided to switch over to the Harder and Steenbeck just to see how it compared. And the Infinity really paints like a true detail airbrush, meaning that with that acute spray angle, I don't have to be really close to the painting to actually get in all that detail. And with this painting, I'm using a good airbrush paint. I'm using Createx Illustration Colors, spraying around 20 PSI. And I didn't notice any sort of clogging or spitting. It seemed to work just fine. This was about 25 minutes to a half-hour painting session. But I have to say that trigger control was not perfect. Where I'm spraying larger areas and the paint's continually flowing, it felt great. It felt just like a Micron. But when I went in to spray some detail areas, maybe like a ripple in the water where I'm using a shield or a piece of paper, I noticed that the trigger control just wasn't great. Every time I pulled it back, it just kind of felt like a gamble of when it's going to start spraying the paint. Now, one thing about the Infinity is that the trigger is farther back on the body than it is on other detail airbrushes like the Sotar 2020 or in this example here with the Custom Micron. But I have to say with this trigger farther back, it feels really comfortable and I really like spraying with it. I'm used to spraying with the Custom Micron Takumi where you're really choking up on it. That trigger's really close to the nozzle. But this one, it's farther back, feels just as comfortable. I mean, I think for most people, it's really a preference. The best thing to do is kind of try, see what you like more. You know, some people may like the closer one. For me, I don't think it really matters. I really enjoyed painting with this and it felt great. So that's going to complete this review. Unfortunately, that new needle just feels the same as the old one to me. Again, I'm sure it's higher quality and it'll last longer, but painting and response-wise, it just felt the same. There's no doubt that the Harder & Steenbeck Infinity CR Plus is an outstanding airbrush. It really sprays and atomizes the paint flawlessly. If that initial response rate was just a bit more precise, this would probably be my main airbrush. If you're looking to pick up the Infinity CR Plus, it's definitely an airbrush that I'd highly recommend. I would definitely consider this a true detail airbrush, and the build quality alone makes it worth the price. So that's it for this review. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll be back here next week so we can start this new landscape painting. Thanks for watching.